Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome. This is the Town of Somers Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. The date is April 16th, 2019. Denise, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Carpenetto.
Here.
Ms. DiPolito.
Here.
Mr. Gio.
Here.
Mr. Newman.
Here.
Chairman Canestra.
Here.
Thank you.
Request everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. First item on the agenda this evening is that of George and Kathleen Piccarelli. Is someone here to represent? Please. Sir, if you could just come up to the microphone here, and if you could just identify yourself, give us your name and address.
George Piccarelli, 4 Orchard Hill Road, Katona.
Okay. This is a renewal for an application for a special exception use permit for an existing accessory apartment in a detached structure of an existing one-family dwelling located in an R120 residential district at 4 Orchard Hill Road in Katona. Okay, so you're looking for a renewal of your existing
Correct.
apartment. Has the building inspector been out there?
I have.
And it is in compliance with the code?
Yes, it is.
Was before? Okay, great. We haven't received any complaints or anything regarding this apartment or its use?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Sir, how many people live in the apartment?
2,
2 people? Okay,
my daughter-in-law and her daughter.
okay. And have been no complaints from the neighbors or no other issues or anything regarding it? Anything like that? No? Okay.
Now, I do have one question. I'm just a little confused. I thought it was a different location on Orchard Hill Road. Is this the driveway right at the hairpin turn, first house on the right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Because there are numerous cottages there, too.
No, one cottage, which is this dwelling, and then there's a barn and a garage.
Okay. That's where I may be getting confused on the barn. Okay, thank you.
This is the only building that contains an accessory apartment on the property, though?
It's a separate building with
Right.
one living area. It's not I don't know if you call it an apartment.
Right.
It's been there for quite a time, right?
Long time. I mean, we've been there since 96 or something like that.
Okay.
Renewal?
Yeah, it's been renewed several times.
Okay. Any additional questions of the applicant?
Okay, I do have a question. When was the last time the septic was pumped out?
I gave her
Yeah,
the
I have a
receipt,
record of it. Moving
like 2
forward-
years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, moving forward, that's part of the application process. And if they didn't have it cleaned within the time limitation, they would not be able to get on the agenda.
So really, I can eliminate that question from here on out?
Yes, please.
There's also a new line that was put in the same time as.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, did you have any other comments at this time, or?
No?
Is anybody here wish to speak in regard to this application? We'll open it up to the audience. If there's anybody here who has any questions or comments? No? Okay. Anything further from the board? Any further discussion? No? Okay, take a motion as to the type of action.
Make a motion, type 2?
I'll second.
Mr. Carpenetto?
Aye.
Ms. DiPolito?
Aye.
Mr. Gio?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Chairman Canestra?
Aye.
Thank you.
Can we have a motion as to whether we're going to grant special exception use permit?
I'll make a motion that the application is approved.
Second?
Mr. Carpenetto?
Aye.
Ms. DiPolito?
Aye.
Mr. Gio?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Chairman Canestra?
Aye.
Thank you.
Sir, your application is granted. Please keep in mind that the permit is for 7 years, then you have to come back and revisit us again.
See you then.
Okay, thank you.
Good on.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda this evening is that of Stephen and Annunziata D'Ambrosio. This is an application for a 3-foot, of an area variance of 3 feet for the height of a detached garage accessory under construction. Okay,
I don't know if
that's
it's
all right.
in there. Yeah, I just gave it to you.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Tom, Steve, Dixie said to say hi.
Kiss your kid.
Okay, and sir, if you could just go up to the microphone and just give us your name and address.
So my name's Jerry Thorpe. I own a company called Bay Horse Gazebos and Barns up in Red Hook, New York. We specialize in Amish barn construction. So what you see in front of you is a modular two-story, two-car garage. They're pre-configured. We bring them in two halves, just like a modular. We put them together on the supplied concrete.
So I'm going to interrupt you just for a minute.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to read for the public what the whole application is
sorry.
about.
I'm
Just
sorry.
give me 1 second. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to repeat, this is an application for an area variance of 3 feet for the height of a detached garage accessory under construction to an existing one-family dwelling located in an R80 residential district, and this is located at 16 Edgewood Drive in Katona. Okay, I'm sorry, sir. You can
No, that's
continue.
okay. I get talking too much. No, that's fine. So the reason for the variance is these are pre-made units. So they're made in a certain format. There's slopage on Mr. D'Ambrosio's property where we thought it was in his best interest to create a knee wall to help combat any water that might come off the back hill and then infiltrate into the garage. By doing that, we created this scenario where we have to ask for the 3 footage of heightage. Otherwise, we would have been fine with our overall heightage. But because of the side walls, now we're in violation of, so we are begging you to let us build it a little bit taller so we don't have to worry about water coming into a beautiful building.
So basically, it's a foundation, correct?
And it has a knee wall on it because there's slope that comes down. So if we did a slab at grade, the water would have come right into the building.
Right. That happens on all sides?
From the street side, it's actually the fill or the ground, the grade will be right up to the concrete. You won't notice it from that side.
Gotcha.
It's from the back side, which would be his backyard, and then that's all forest, so you really don't see it. But our overall heightage on that end would be 3 feet too tall.
Now, the.
I just went by there actually, and it looks really nice the way they've started to backfill around the perimeter of it. Yeah.
So the construction has begun on this, yeah,
The concrete has been installed.
right? And you said this is a pre-built building, so it's
That's
not like you
correct.
can easily take off 3 feet off
You,
the...
you can't drop down heightage of it because then it makes it an unusable building.
And this is a 2-car garage as indicated in the picture here?
That's correct.
That's what the plans show.
Then there's a staircase that goes upstairs, so there's kind of a usable second story.
I was gonna say, what's the height of that second story up there? Inside?
From floor to ceiling, you're about 8 foot in the very, very center.
It's about, I'm sorry, how much?
About 8 foot in the very center.
8 foot.
Then it slopes down really quick.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's a pretty steep slope on this, so
Yeah,
you're gonna lose a
yeah.
lot of height very
Yeah,
quickly.
you've only got about 30 to 40% of usability upstairs.
And that's usable for storage and things like that?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm assuming that there's no intent to put running water up there, or,
It'll be an unconditioned space.
okay, it's just gonna be storage,
Yep,
and that's basically it.
And what about electrical?
So at this time, I'm not applying for electric. We're gonna have an unconditioned building. If Mr. D'Ambrosio decides to go forward with electric, then he would have to come to the building department or whatever your town rules are.
For wiring.
I'm
things
just
like
giving him a dry shell,
that. Right.
Okay.
So no electricity, no water in the building.
nothing.
Now, I have a question for Tom. Now, in the future, if they do decide to put in electric, that would go strictly under you, that would have nothing to do with us, the zoning board, correct?
Correct.
So Tom, is your town similar as our towns? We don't need a permit in our towns for electric, but we do need them to be inspected by the underwriter. So how does it work in the town of Somers?
You would, we're going under transition right now to initiate electrical permits in the building department, but right now it's identical to what you're
Okay,
accustomed to.
okay.
But-
I don't like breaking rules,
So,
so
no,
I'd
but
like.
we would get a certificate, so
Okay.
I'm aware of what's going on.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Are there any trees being removed to put
Nothing,
this in?
nothing. No, it was just a flat, kind of a turnaround area or back out into area They have a garage existing, but they're gonna close the garage up as their family's growing. So the garage that exists under the house is no longer going to be, and that'll be a spare rumpus room or something. So, where the garage is going to set is basically, was a parking area.
And it looks like where this would be, so this would be, if you drive into the driveway, to the immediate left is the existing garage, this would be to the right.
Absolutely correct.
And it's pretty well guarded by trees on 3 sides? I mean, would you see this from the street?
You will see the side of it from the street, from the neighbor's yard. There is some trees and shrubbery. The whatever side it would be uphill, there's nothing there. That's all their property, and then it's so wooded.
You're looking at a Google map there, Tom, right? I see it.
Yes.
Yeah. Just to see exactly what kind of screening we're looking at here, yeah.
Now, aesthetically, does this match to the existing
We're gonna
house?
make it match exactly. So the windows will be exact, the sidings will be exact, the roof colors will be exact. It will look like it was built at the same time frame. Good question, thank you. And I imagine with time, Mr. D'Ambrosio, it's a beautiful property, will, as ground conditions allow, I'm sure he'll forest that bank or do something as erosion control on the bank that that would be closest to the street.
Any discussions with any neighbors regarding this or any issues?
He's only got one neighbor that it would impact, and they love what he's doing. It's a beautiful building when we're done.
Now, I do have another question
Sure.
for Tom. With this being prefabbed, does it meet code?
The plans are stamped by an architect, and I haven't reviewed them for a permit issuance yet, but taking a look at it briefly, if it doesn't, it will, before the issuance of a permit.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, we have stamped architectural drawings that I think Tom will be quite happy with. And if not, we'll revise them so he is.
Thank you.
Do they get certified by the state also?
He's a New York State certified architect, so gives him the ability to rubber stamp it.
Right, but don't they also have to get some kind of okay from the state of New York when they build them? They used to do it with the
Oh.
modulars.
You referring to like modular construction?
Yeah.
That's if the walls were closed on the interior, the state would give a certification for
Wire,
what's
for
between
plumbing,
the
whatever.
walls that we can't see.
But, okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Are there any posts in the building itself?
No, it's a clear span building.
It is a clear.
It is a clear span. We put heavier LVL, we put ridge beams, and then we put beams on the first story that allow us, they're a pre-engineered beam or an LVL, and allows us to create clear span all the way through.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's a pretty big span, and then you've got upstairs usable space, so of course that's gotta be really strong and
right.
be able to support all this.
So yeah, they're 18-inch LVLs, and it's a series of 2, and they're bolted together as per code.
Right. Okay. Any other comments of the applicant before I go out to the audience? No? Anybody here wish to speak in regard to this application? Comments, questions, pro or con? No? Sir, do you have anything else to offer at this point in time?
I think I've covered it. I mean, that's our structure.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
My only concern would have been for sightlines, but it doesn't appear to have any.
Any
It doesn't
problem?
appear to block any sightlines.
Right. And the neighbor, of course, would have been notified of this meeting tonight, could have certainly come or commented, and we haven't had any comments or letters or anything from the neighbors
No.
regarding.
To speak to that, Tom, we're not, and I know up in our area at least, we're not allowed to go in front of that imaginary plane of the front of the home. So this is gonna be directly on that same plane, so we're not encroaching on the front line.
And this, of course, meets all the setbacks. This is simply a 3-foot height variance for this garage.
That's correct.
That's all we're talking about here.
Yes.
Are we ready to vote on this matter? Okay. Take a motion as to the type of action.
Make a motion type 2?
Second.
Mr. Carpenetto?
Aye.
Ms. DiPolito? Mr. Gio?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Chairman Canestra?
Aye.
Thank you.
Can we have a motion whether we're going to accept or deny the application?
I'll make a motion to approve the application.
Second?
Mr. Carpenetto?
Aye.
Ms. DiPolito?
Aye.
Mr. Gio?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Chairman Canestra?
Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir, your application's granted.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Grandma.
Thank you, Grandpa. Same to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We should send it over to the host before they're electronic.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Okay, last item on the agenda this evening
Sure.
I'll live in it.
is of Mastrantoni Brothers, Inc. This is an application for a front yard area variance of 9 feet 2 inches for a second-story addition and a 13-foot 6-inch for an entry porch, as well as a side yard area variance of 4 inches for a deck to an existing one-family dwelling located in an R10 residential district at 6 Orange Drive in Mayapack. Sir, if you could just give us your name and address?
Hi, my name is Paul Mastrantoni. I'm from 6 Orange Drive in Mayapack, and I had one question. I thought we weren't doing the side yard.
For the deck,
Oh, we are? Oh, I didn't, okay.
mm-hmm,
All
the
right.
deck only.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Tom.
Sir, so could you briefly describe your application?
Part of the application is because the property is not big enough. It's 9,200, I think 9,200 square feet. You know, that's how the property was when it was built back then. And
Right.
for the front yard, it's kind of deceiving. If you're at the road, you look like you have enough distance. If you're sitting on the road, but the property line is pushed back. You see where the road is?
Yeah, I see the road, yep.
And if you see where the property line is, that's why, whatever they did back then,
Right.
pre-1940, however
Right.
they plopped the house.
Right. And this is an R10 zone, so you're a little under 10,000 square feet in total?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were gonna try to push the house back, try to make it for the right, for the setbacks. It's just not gonna look right, We're trying to make it fit the neighborhood.
You're gonna tear
trying
this
to-
house down? Or the house that's there now?
Excuse me?
You're gonna tear the house down
No.
that's there now?
We're gonna add on to it and make it, I have a picture of the house that looks now.
Do you have a picture of it? Could you give
Yes.
that to us? That might be helpful. Okay, this is what the house looks like right now.
Yes.
Okay, so first go this way. So it's a little rough looking, this house.
Oh, it's really rough looking.
And it's relatively close to the house next to it, it looks like.
Yeah, that's where the house is,
Yeah.
I'm not going that way, I'm going towards,
You're going out the other way.
I'm going, if you're looking at it from the street,
Yep.
I'm going left. We're not going anywhere to the right, we're leaving that alone.
What's your intent with this house? Are you renovating this house to sell it?
Yeah,
Or to sell it?
to sell, yes.
Okay, so you bought this house. Have you thought about tearing the whole thing down, or you think you've just decided that you wanna?
No, we want to, because if you tear it down, I'm just gonna lose all the, I don't want to tear the whole thing down, because it's some of
The
its structures.
foundation's good and everything in it?
Yeah, that's, if it's not good, we'll repair it, but most of it, we looked at, and its structure is fine,
Right.
The roof is, all the rafters are shot.
Yeah, I
You
was
know,
gonna say, looking at that.
That's all shot.
Yeah, just looking at the picture, it
The
definitely.
walls, the floor is good, the main floor is downstairs is good and all that.
So are you tearing everything down to the foundation?
No,
You're gonna keep some of
stick
the,
some of the walls up, yes,
some of the walls up, then you're gonna put a second story on top of this?
and then push out to the left, or however you're looking at it. If you're looking at the house, going to the left.
The final house, how many bedrooms and baths are we gonna have here?
It's 3 beds and I think 2.5 baths. Yeah. A half bath downstairs and two upstairs.
Now, is there enough room for the septic tank, septic field and expansion for the future if need be, if the system fails? That would be underneath the, Westchester County, correct, Tom? For septic?
Yes.
It's gonna be all in the back of the house. So if they have to expand it, you're gonna have to get it re-engineered and they're gonna,
But there's room for expansion?
yes.
Has Board of Health approved the three-bedroom house here?
Yeah, it's an existing three-bedroom house, and he's proposing not to add any additional bedrooms.
Okay. Because Board of Health always goes by bedrooms, I do see what you got here. So all three bedrooms are gonna be apparently on the second floor, a master and 2 side bedrooms.
Yes. We're trying to make the house fit the neighborhood. We're not like overbuilding it. It's just, it's around 1,900 square feet, around there.
About 1,900 square feet, you said? 1,900 square feet?
18, yeah.
Are the neighbors on either side of you 2-story houses? Or are they 1 story?
One's way above, and the second one is, I guess you could say, I guess it's a story and a half. I mean, it's Lake Lincolndale, so they're all different
The
size
direction,
houses.
yeah, the direction that you're going out, there's a fair bit of space. Is there an empty lot in between the corner house and this lot?
To the left,
Yeah,
it's the guy's backyard. Yes, there is if you have my fence,
yeah.
and there is the guy behind me. It's his backyard. I think it connects.
Okay.
And then there's a house above that.
The asphalt for the road starts past the property line, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So if you're on the road, you actually,
If you're on the road, it almost looks like you have the 25,
right.
that 25-foot setback, how it is. If it
So
looks,
I'm driving.
that's why it's very,
You got greater than 25 feet from the actual asphalt to the nearest point of the existing dwelling.
The houses around you seem much bigger than what you have right now.
yeah,
How many square feet is the house right now?
800. It's tiny.
Yeah.
A bungalow at one time, probably.
So, Tom, they need an area variance here. Three area variances. Okay, 9 feet, 2 inches for the second story. What does that mean? Are we talking about a height issue, or what's the 9 feet, 2 inches?
For the front yard,
Oh, it's
there's only-
9 feet too close to the front yard setback.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, are you coming any closer to the front yard than the house exists now?
No,
So you're just going,
straight up.
you're going straight up? Okay.
And to the left.
So you're just going straight up. So you're not bringing the house any closer to the road?
No.
Okay.
Where those stairs are, I mean, if you look on the site plan, you see the little stairs?
Yes, I do.
Those are existing already. Those are there.
Right. Okay.
If you see the site plan, you see the house, and then you see the addition part of it.
Right. And then the variance is slightly larger for the entry porch, which is 13 feet 6 inches. So that must sit a little closer to the road?
Yes.
Yeah, that's existing. That's already there. Yeah.
Just so I have as well as a side yard area variance of, that looks like only 4 inches
For the deck.
for the deck, okay. Oh, for a deck, yes, the
The rear
existing one.
deck, yes.
So it's only 4 inches, okay, that's very tiny.
So as it sits currently, it does not meet the required setbacks.
It's pre-existing non-conforming.
If he were to tear the whole house down, he would then have to be conforming, right? Rebuild?
If it's doable, he'd have to go to the health department to replace the house.
Right,
and get their approval.
right. And he's keeping enough of the house, I assume, to not have to do that.
Yes.
Okay. When did you want to begin construction, sir?
As soon as possible.
When do you anticipate construction would be concluded?
Probably 6 months, you know.
Okay. Any other comments you want to make right now? You'll have time to,
No, the only thing we did, just so you know, I had Steve out there, he looked at it, you know, Steve, the town engineer, we did all those, you know, we had everything covered, you know.
It's
That's
just-
why, even if you look at the pictures, there's no trees, because he, you know,
right.
we,
And your septic is functioning and okay on this property?
yeah,
Yeah. Well is okay on this property?
yeah.
It should be.
We're gonna raise, you know, the well's there, everything's there, we're just
Right.
gonna update it, you know, put new stuff in.
New pump or whatever?
Yeah, whatever
you
has to
need
be, new tank
To
and,
make it happen, right?
yeah, make it nice and, you know.
Right, right. Okay. Any other comments before I go out to the audience? Anybody here wish to speak in regard to this application? Yeah. Comments, pro or con, questions, any issues anybody has? No? Okay. Sir, you just come up to the microphone, just give us your name and address.
Victor Spezial, 2 Hickory Road, Mayapack, New York. I'm literally right across the street from this property.
Okay.
First question is, I know the property itself, it is small. And while the other properties, as you mentioned, are larger, at least all of them are twice or 3 times the size of the property itself. And you said this was, what, a 3-bedroom you were applying for?
It is a 3-bedroom.
How is that little thing a 3-bedroom?
It's pre-19, you know, that's how it was when they built it.
Yeah, well, apparently the code, I mean, currently it's indicated in the building department as a 3-bedroom, right? That's what it's approved for, regardless of its size. It's maybe 800 square feet, but yeah.
Okay, so it's just because it's grandfathered in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-bedroom house, and that's allowed for this zone, right? I mean, this is, right? Board of Health is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The zoning doesn't stipulate the bedroom. It's all on the health department, what they approve.
what they approve as far as,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, main question there.
Okay. Here. Okay. Anybody else have any comments or questions in regard to this application? No? Okay. Sir, anything else you want to add at this point in time?
No.
Okay. Anybody else on the board have any questions?
Are you the contractor, or you're?
Yes.
You are.
You're the contractor and owner.
Yes,
You bought this to flip, right? Buy and
yeah.
build it and then
Yes.
sell it, right? Yeah.
I live in Lake Lincoln now,
Mhm.
so,
Looks like it certainly needed some renovation.
Yes.
Obviously, yes.
she just,
Understatement.
you know,
Yeah.
she just left. Poor
Okay.
lady.
Okay.
Be a nice improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is an eyesore at present.
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah, I think fixing it up would certainly, I would think most of the adjoining homeowners would be pretty pleased to get that property fixed up a little bit, so.
Now, the grade here, it definitely grades up, so is this, a lot of this gonna be below grade as you go over?
Where he's adding on to is the
Yeah.
uphill side, the left side if you're facing the house from the street.
Right,
And that's,
so it's gonna.
that'll be below grade. The basement will be mostly below grade at the end of the house. He's got a
Right.
little sketch here.
Yeah, see, he's going up the hill here. Right.
They have that. If you
So,
go
yeah,
into
going
the
into the
notes or
hillside.
page, they have all of this.
Okay, that's
Where you're going into the hillside, it looks like you're gonna put a basement in there, right?
Yes.
You're gonna dig that out and put in a
Yes,
full
we'll put a
basement.
basement, yes,
It's a 1-car garage, obviously.
yes.
Is the basement gonna be finished or unfinished?
No, unfinished, just, it's just, you know, utility room, whatever, you know, storage.
This is a 1-car garage, you're not stacking 2 in there, are you?
No,
Just the
one
one
car.
Just the 1-car straight garage.
It's existing one now, it's just they closed it
Yeah, it looks
years
like,
ago.
yeah, it's concreted over with a door there now.
Yeah, but there was it's a,
So as indicated on the plans, you're gonna put a garage door in
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And there is one underneath the house, it's how they fixed it years ago, they, you see all the old framing and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, the dirt that's gonna be excavated for the foundation and the footings, is that gonna be hauled away, or it's gonna be spread out on the lot itself?
No, it's probably gonna be hauled away. We gotta leave some for backfilling, but,
Right. No, I was just curious whether or not, if it was gonna be on site, whether or not it's gonna be over the septic fields
no.
for percolation.
Yeah. Okay. Final questions, comments?
Denise, did you get any feedback?
I have not, no, I have not. And generally, if I do, Tom, I will forward that information to all of you. I've heard nothing either way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the back, so it's coming no closer to the road, but it will extend further to the backyard, the house itself?
Kind of to the left, I think.
I mean, mostly to the left, but is it gonna?
A little to the back, but not, it's still within the setback, it's way.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's existing.
It's very little in the
Going
drawing,
that way.
and more so the deck.
Is the foundation of this house cinder block or is it poured concrete?
Cinder block,
It is cinder block.
yeah.
Any final comments, any questions? You okay, Tom? No, you're looking at that, that does help that Google map a lot.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get a feel for what's around it. Okay.
And the square footage on the new house will be,
It's like.
I think you had said about 1,800 square feet?
1900.
1,900 square feet?
I think it was around, yeah, it was between 1850, 19, somewhere around,
not including the basement.
No, not including the basement.
So the existing house, it was about 800 square feet, but that's all on the one level.
Mm-hmm.
Any further comments? Nope. Okay, I think we're ready to vote on this. Entertain a motion for the type of action.
Type 2?
Second.
Mr. Carpenetto?
Aye.
Ms. DiPolito?
Aye.
Mr. Gio?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Chairman Canestra?
Aye.
Thank you.
Entertain a motion as to whether we're going to grant the application. Keep in mind, there are three area variances in regard to this application.
I would like to make a motion to grant the application as presented to the board.
A second.
Mr. Carpenetto?
Aye.
Ms. DiPolito?
Aye.
Mr. Gio?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Chairman Canestra?
Aye.
Thank you.
So your application is granted.
Thank you.
If you'd like your photo back, if you can take that if you'd like.
Anything back on the
Can we see that, Paul? Paul, we want to see it.
plans?
Last item on the agenda this evening. Last item on the agenda this evening is to approve the March 2019 minutes. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at those? Any questions, comments? None? Okay, so we'll just approve them by voice. All in favor of approval of the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay, so we're gonna consider the March 2019 minutes approved. Last thing on the agenda, last item I'll make mention, we have our next meeting, which will be the third Tuesday, May 21st, right here.
Yep, I also want to note that June, we will not meet on the third Tuesday because the Assessment Board of Review needs this room. So our June meeting is on the second Tuesday, which is June 11th.
But we'll be in this room.
And we will be in this room and it will be televised.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
any
you.
Further items we have to discuss? Anybody else has any comments, questions? No? Okay, so we're gonna conclude the meeting. Good night, everyone, and that's it for tonight.